I go back to the Elizabeth Warren tweet because where do we go from here? And that is the big question. And I think there's a real challenge for Democrats. Whereas do you go full-blown into this, we're going to protect our Constitution, or is the game to beat Trump? And do we got to get back to the voters, what matters to them, health care? And to me, I do think there's a way to do both. And I think this drive to impeachment, keep the process going. Position this as one more example of the big guy screwing the little guy. The same way he wanted to take your health care away, the same way he screwed you on taxes, now there's no laws. Even the rich people don't have laws. So package this among things that matter to voters, because my big concern with this is that, forget the actual legality of it and the process of it, is getting this guy out of office. And if the Democrats cannot properly walk and chew gum at the same time, they are going to fall in a big pothole.
I mean, look, I would follow up, and I said this yesterday at some point. I was in a White House. I turned over all of my emails 4 times when they investigated the Dick Cheney Enron Energy Task Force, when they investigated the firing of U.S. attorneys, when they investigated the leak of Valerie Plame's name, and there was another investigation after I was gone into the death of Pat Tillman. A White House under investigation is not necessarily the same thing as a White House being considered for impeachment. So I think the Democrats have created this false binary path with impeach or not impeach. You can invest, and here's the deal. I think what hurts Trump, if this didn't bother Trump, if this didn't endanger him politically, he wouldn't be acting like a hit dog. I mean, he's crying like a newborn. And so the idea that there's there's absolutely a principled reason to examine what Robert Mueller found was so grave he couldn't exonerate him.
Don't take your eye off the ball. What matters to people at home in the election? You've got to be able to.
But let me finish this sentence.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, Donald Trump is the sitting commander-in-chief. I think even his base wants the information. They may still vote for him again, but they want to know if he's a big fat liar and a big fat breaker of laws while he is the country's sitting president. And they may not vote any differently.
I hope those 40% are with you on that. I really do. I think
you have to trust voters to be smart enough to take in the information. They don't want to hear from us what they should do with it, but I think it's information relevant to his brand, if you will.
Taking it out of the realm of the prescriptive and what they should have. I will say, just is worth noting at this moment, right? I mean, I believe Elizabeth Warren is the first Democratic presidential candidate who's come forward and said she's for impeachment. And so there is, just as the analytical level, there's a lot of pressure in the Democratic base on the left side for this. And this the same pressure that Nancy Pelosi is facing right now. Now that the dam is broken, now that Elizabeth Warren has taken the step, crossed this Rubicon, whatever metaphor you want to use, how many others will now follow? And it's an interesting piece of strategic and game theory. We could very well now see a rush, not of all the Democratic candidates, but now that she's staked out this position, you could very quickly see a lot of them in this position, because it's not a coordinated thing. All these candidates are acting in their own interest, and she now has taken a position that will get her some traction with a large segment of the nominating electorate, and a lot of people are going to feel a lot of pressure over this weekend to follow that path.
And she's interestingly poised to do it because she's running on so much policies. No one's going to accuse her of not running on issues that affect inequality and other things on the minds of Democrats. She's got such a
she's the most policy forward, the most of policies, the most articulated set of policies, the most progressive set of policies. And now she's out in the lead on this too.
It's interesting. All right.
CBO came out that 1 million people lost health care an hour before this since 2016. We just can't take our eye off that.
No, they got to walk and chew gum.